Welcome back. As you can see from the mossy cobblestone over here, I have a skeleton dungeon right here. Turns out it was right sort of behind in the middle of where I'm going to build my towers. So, yay. Should be interesting. In Better Than Wolves, cobblestone placed around a mob spawner produces mossy cobblestone. Not only useful for decoration, but it's a critical, mossy cobblestone is also a critical component for a block later called a block dispenser, which has numerous uses. At the moment, we're kind of going hungry. I'm holding off on eating any food because I'm going to make a couple of things here and show them off. So first we'll make some gears, which your early gears are going to be made this way, you know, 4 sticks around a central plank, I mean. And that's really all I need, but I'm going to grab some extra just for the heck of it. And also make some sticks. Okay. First we'll need a power source. We do this by doing 2 cobblestones and a gear in the middle, and 2 sticks here to create a hand crank. Then I'm going to use one of these and 8 smooth stone to make a millstone. Millstone are used for grinding things. There we go. Now, unlike one of the big changes that Better Than Wolves has made, is an attempt to kind of centralize and trying to think of the right word for it. Not so much just to make it added challenge, but also in terms of adding a new level of design and strategy to creating things in game. Many of the things that standardly you would just sort of grind up by hand, like say bone meal, for example, are now run through the millstone. Now you notice I cleared out an area around the millstone. The reason this is much like just like a real life millstone. Stuff that gets ground up in the 2 heavy stones here get, you know, kind of dumped in all directions. This is intentional because it pushes people to strategically build ways to transport goods away from around the millstone to a storage thing. For example, typically this is by water flow, having water run around the millstone and pour somewhere else, carrying the items with it. Using the hand crank is pretty exhausting. After all, you are, you know, standing there cranking a huge amount of material. You'll need to use the millstone for grinding bones into bone meal, sugar cane into sugar, and a number of other things. Basically, if you need to grind it up, such as flour, wheat to flour, that kind of stuff, you'll need to use this for it. So, when using this, it's a big drain on your hunger because, you know, it's so physically exerting. And as you can see up here, as I go along, this fills up, much like the way the furnace will fill up, and produce your bone meal. So I'm going to grind here for a while it's pouring rain outside. And of course I'm starting to go into starvation mode where I lose hit points. But that's fine because I'll just eat something after I'm done doing all this. I'm going to grind up a bunch of this bone meal so that I can help improve the growth of my hemp down the line here. One of the things to know about hemp is, unlike wheat where you destroy the whole plant each time you harvest, hemp instead has 2 layers. You know, the first time when you plant it, it grows its first level, and then it grows a second block of hemp above that. And you could harvest the top hemp off without harming the plant below. So you can keep coming back to the same plant over and over again for as long as, you know, the plant's alive. Just like wheat, they need water. Hemp are also fussy about light. They need either direct sunlight, or they need what's called a light block, which is something else we'll make later down the road. I'll show later. And so they won't just grow by torches or other things, so they must have direct open sunlight. Another change that the game that Better Than Wolves makes to hemp, or not to hemp, but to bone meal, is how it interacts with plants. Instead of just suddenly making plants pop into existence, it actually functions like a real-life fertilizer. It fertilizes the soil, making plants planted on it grow more efficiently and more evenly. Hemp's first stage, it's the first level of the plant growth, is pretty slow. So I'm going to use bone meal to hasten that stage. And once it reaches its full adult first stage, then it's the bone meal is completely absorbed, and you'd have to apply more if you want to do it again. This is all kind of done to encourage people to build new types of structures in order to automate this. For example, you could have some sort of setup that automates the grindstone, the millstone here, that grinds up bones, so that bones get dropped into the millstone. They get ground up, get dumped out, and get, you know, sent along down the line, so that you don't have to do this by hand every time. Let's see how it's doing out here. Oh joy! Oh wait, I don't want to go out yet. Still starving and really low on health. That's how I died in a previous Let's Play, which was full of fail. Come on. Will that be enough? Yeah, it'll be enough. Barely. I better wait a little while. So, here are hemp seeds. They are produced by either breaking tall grass, just like gaining normal wheat seeds is, except it's quite a bit rarer to get hemp. But once you get hemp going, you'll be more likely to, or once you get hemp growing, since you don't destroy the plant each time, you'll be able to get more and more seeds over time built up. Did you die? No, you're down there. Stupid skeleton. And I gotta figure out how to clear away all that land around the other areas. As you can see, the wheat farm down there I built, I've had to clear away a bunch of land to do that. Yeah, I see you. Ow. Die. Dead. Stay dead. So I thought I'd just touch base here and point out these things, and we'll be back later. As you can see, here's the cliffside that I'm going to be building the tower in front of. Part of my problem with the previous Let's Play was that I basically kind of packed everything in one area, and I think that was kind of overloading my frame rate. And you are a graphical glitch. So I will be back in a little while. I'll go chop down some trees, put down more fencing, and continue building. I just thought I'd introduce you here to the millstone, as well as to growing hemp, because hemp is a big part of Better Than Wolves, and I will be back. Well, welcome back. As you can see, I'm standing out here in this field. I have the wheat field built, and now I've extended part of this water flow from the lake here to build the hemp farm. I think I've got, yeah, the day just broke, so I've got plenty of time. Now, it doesn't really matter what order you put down the bone meal. You can put down the plant first and then the bone meal, vice versa. It doesn't matter. When you put down the bone meal, you'll see that it, you know, the texture changes and have little bits of bone meal in it. And this is my hemp plant. So I'll go ahead and put down these first 11 plants or so. And this will pretty much, well, greatly improve the rate at which they grow. Normally they're much slower, but they'll grow a lot quicker thanks to the bone meal. It's really good for that, for the early stages. I haven't really had an abundance of bone meal on my own, on previous Let's Plays, to make it really worth the trouble of grinding it up and everything else in order to regularly use it as a fertilizer every time. Most of the time I'm so busy with whatever I'm doing, like mining, that I'll completely forget about my fields and come back to them and have them be fully ripe. So, anyway, I just thought I'd show off the bone meal and this and hemp growth. As you can see, one of them is already starting to expand here. So, yeah, I will be back.